Hello. QR code to be entered into a raffle for this wonderful shiny power button. You can win something related to this mini project. Opening ceremony is going to be starting soon, so make sure you fill out this raffle survey while you can. You can win this shiny new power bank. Final reminder, if you want to win this brand new shiny power bank, please fill out our raffle. Please fill out the survey and you can win this wonderful power bank. once. If you hear me, clap twice. Awesome. Didn't even have to go to 3. Thank you all so much, and I think we're going to get started. Welcome to HackRPI 2025. I'm President Zenya Kusin.
I'm Vice President CJ.
And thank you all so much for joining us this morning. I was changing. There we go. Now, somebody else I want to thank is our wonderful organizing team. This event wouldn't be possible without them. For the past year, they've been planning, scheduling, budgeting, sending so many emails, doing so much graphic design, all for this event to come together for you guys this weekend. So give a huge round of applause to our organizers. Now, I'm sure you're all wondering who won this wonderful, shiny power bank. And the email is hschmidt0023@gmail.com. Could you come down?
Come on down.
And we're going to have more raffles throughout this event, so make sure you're at the closing ceremony, because yes, you can win things even without submitting a project.
Just a little heads up to everyone, our slides are linked with this QR code if anybody would like to follow along. They're also going to be in our Discord server. If you have not joined that, don't worry. We'll have a couple QR codes later on in the presentation. But please make sure you follow along with these slides and get in that Discord server as soon as possible.
The theme this year is retro versus modern. We're going back to a time when we landed a man on the moon with only 4 kilobytes. We're combining classic technology with futuristic innovations. We want to see what you can do that's either retro, modern, or both. Whether you're building a classic game with a modern style, or you're just following our theme aesthetically, this year's theme is all about timeless technology.
So I'm sure everybody's wondering what the prizes are going to look like today. So starting off at first place, we're giving out $1,000. And at second place, we're giving out $750. We're also going to have 3 slightly smaller prize tracks for the best machine learning hack, the best healthcare hack, and the best sustainability hack. And we have a bunch of smaller prizes like air fryers, JBL speakers, power banks, among many other things for our smaller prize tracks, and a couple sponsored prize tracks with some money, some photon credits, tons of opportunities to win. Just as a reminder, you must opt in for our optional prize tracks on your dev post submission. If you do not opt in, you won't be considered. So please remember to check those boxes when you're submitting to the dev post.
All right, so how this is going to work is you're going to be working in a team of 1 to 4 people. Hacking will start at 11 a.m. today, right after this opening ceremony, and hacking will end at 11 a.m. tomorrow. You can only write code in this 24-hour period, but you can start brainstorming before then. Make sure you register on DevPost by 9 a.m. tomorrow. Our DevPost is HackRPI 2025. We've also linked it on the Discord. I'm sure it's linked on the website. It's everywhere. Join our DevPost. This is 2 hours before coding stops at 11 a.m. Yes, you'll need to submit your links to your GitHub and a brief description of your project, but you can still write code, work on your presentation for those 2 hours. We're going to have science fair style judging from 11 to 2 on Sunday, so make sure you're ready for that. And winners are going to be announced at the closing ceremony at 3 on Sunday, so make sure you're there to make sure you get your prizes.
So touching a little bit on judging criteria, this is also posted on our dev post and on our website, so please check it out after and make sure you're gearing your project towards our rubric. Our first kind of section that we're going to be evaluating on is practicality and usability. How practical is your project? How usable is it? How realistic is it? Next is creativity. How new is it? How innovative is it? Is it something that's already out there, or is it something you came up with? Next, we're going to have technical difficulty. How difficult was your implementation? How hard did you have to work on it? And then our last pillar is going to be effort. How much effort went into the project? How much time was spent on it? And a bunch of other things that are factored into those. But that's what you're being evaluated on, so please remember to kind of gear your presentation during the judging towards those 4 attributes.
All right, right, so we are using science fair style judging this year. You're going to submit on DevPost by 9. Then around 10:30, maybe before then, we'll post the table assignments on our Discord. So again, crucial that you're on the Discord server for all our announcements. The actual judging is going to start at 11 a.m. sharp, but we ask that you're going to be at your table around 10:45 to make sure you're all there. You have a 4-minute presentation per group of judges that's going to see your project. The suggested split is a 2-minute presentation demo and 2-minute Q&A, but the 4 minutes are completely up to you. It is just a hard line. We can't go longer than 4 minutes. And there's going to be 2 groups of judges that will see every project.
So just going over some tools that we have for our event today. Starting off, we have 5 APIs that are given to us by MLH, the Gemini API, Vultr, DigitalOcean, Solana, and 11 Labs. We also have an awesome sponsor, Photon, dealing with agentic AI deployment. They gave us access to their API and a prize track relating to their best use of their product. So please consider running for, or attempting to use Photon's API and applying for that prize track. In addition to the APIs that we're able to provide, we will have a mentoring desk that'll run throughout the duration of the event. We'll always have mentors there from pretty much noon today to midnight and tomorrow morning for a little bit of last minute help. If you have any event related questions, just hunt down one of us in the pink shirts and we can answer your questions to the best of our ability. Also, we have workshops spanning throughout the day that can kind of give you a little bit of information that you need on how to work on your project. I'll touch on that a little bit later in this slide presentation. And just don't forget, there is volumes of online resources. Any resources that you find that are open source and open to use and free to use can be used in your project, but just remember, all code that you write must be written between 11 a.m. today and 11 a.m. tomorrow.
All right, now I'm going to introduce our wonderful keynote. Currently at the NSA and an RPI alum, please introduce James Kilburn.
Good morning. Thank you guys for inviting me here. It's good to be back. As you can see from that, I spent a little bit of time at RPI, 16 years. It was a good run. They finally decided that they needed to get rid of me and graduated me for the final time back in 2011. I'm going to go a little extemporaneous on my talk. I did write something up, but innovation sometimes is about pivoting as we go through it. So I want to start with this idea of innovating with purpose, right? So you are all here today for different reasons. You may be here to entertain yourself, to set yourselves up, to move out on a career, making money, doing startups. You may be here because you see an opportunity to learn some new set of skills, or you want to put yourself on a path to, as RPI puts it, why not change the world, right? Whatever reason that you're here is part of your purpose, right? And I want you to think about those purposes as you go through today and start developing out whatever innovation you're thinking through. But I want you to do it with discipline. And that's the piece that I think people sometimes don't think about. When I started my career many years ago, I thought of innovation as something that happened when someone had a brilliant idea, right? It was that lone individual in a room who would go out, come up with this idea, and then magic would happen, right? Then I started taking the MBA courses here, and in one of the first MBA courses, I was taught this definition for innovation. Innovation is the management discipline of transforming an innovative idea into value. It wasn't about the innovative idea, right? And in fact, as I went through my MBA courses and I've gone through my career, time and time again, I've seen innovative ideas that failed to do anything of value. They either failed to transform a company, they failed to make it in the market, or they failed to transform the way people operated in the world. And a lot of times it wasn't because the innovative idea was bad. In fact, many times somebody else would take that idea and go on to transform it into value. But it was often because they didn't have a discipline to how they were leveraging that idea. They didn't understand what information that idea needed in order to be realized. If you've ever heard Simon Sinek speak, you'll hear him talk about start with why. So the first thing I would tell you is people buy why you do something, not what you do. That is the central thesis in his start with why. And so I want you to think about all of the reasons why you are doing this, because they change the way you go about and perform that innovation. If you're doing it to make a profit, that's going to have you want to do things a different way. If you're doing it in order to transform a market, it's going to be different. If you're doing it to have an impact on the world, that is yet another why that changes the way you want to look at the idea, approach the way you would bring it out to people and to customers. So start with that purpose and understand why you are here to do that. Really understand that. But your purpose isn't going to make an idea successful. There's another piece to this puzzle, and that's the customers, the users of that. Clayton Christensen has a theory called jobs to be done. And the idea behind that one is that people buy your product not because of the product, but because of a job they need your product or service to go and accomplish, right? Understanding what job your customers need to do is critical in understanding what is important about the innovation, right? I don't go out and buy a drill because I want to drill. I buy it because I need a hole. Now, I might need it in concrete, I might need it in wood, I might need it anywhere, I might need 100 of them, or I might need one of them. But understanding your customers, who they are, and what job that they're trying to get done helps you start to understand more about what are the factors of your innovative idea that really matter to them. A professional carpenter wants a lot of holes, and they want consistency, and they want that drill to stand up to rugged conditions and to last a long period of time. A single mother may just have a few holes that she needs to drill, and she wants it to be lightweight and easy to use. I may have to drill a hole because I have to hang something from my mother-in-law in order to keep my wife happy. And so therefore, I'm going to have a completely different set of attributes as I go through it. Understanding that job, figuring out what matters to those folks and what they're trying to accomplish is another part of the purpose that you need to kind of bring together. So we have our purpose and we have our customer's purpose, right? We intersect those two things, to use a great mathematical term for this, right? And we start to understand kind of what that innovation is. But how do we organize all of that information? How do we bring it all together? That's where that discipline comes into play. And through my career, I found many different ways of organizing that information, many different templates for doing that. There's the lean startup methodology. Dr. Gina O'Connor, who was here at RPI for many years, and her team had the learning model method, right? All of them highlighted a key attribute, which was how do I take all this information, organize it, and use it to control my actions and understand what I'm doing. Why? Because our own biases will prevent us from being successful at innovation otherwise. Oftentimes, our assumptions about things color everything we do. And so only by taking that information, organizing it, and using a process where our own bias and misunderstandings, our blindness to things can be removed, can we successfully innovate. At the heart of these models is managing uncertainty. Innovation is all about uncertainty, right? Uncertainty about whether or not the technology will perform the way I expect it to. Uncertainty or assumptions about how somebody wants to do something, right? Uncertainty about what the market will do 3 months from now, 6 months from now, a year from now, right? Some of these uncertainties we can control, right? Actions that we have the ability to control are part of those uncertainties. How much work will I get done? If most of you are like me, that usually meant it was the night before the assignment that I actually got it finished. Other uncertainties we don't have any control over. What happens in the marketplace, in technology, in science, yet they impact the value that we're trying to bring. And so using these methodologies, what we do is we take that implicit knowledge, those assumptions, and we document them. And we get them out of our heads, out onto paper, and we now have a method for managing those uncertainties and testing them rigorously over and over again. Because by doing that, we will truly understand how we can turn that innovative idea into value. I can tell you from my career that I have used a lot of these methodologies, and over the years I've continued to find understanding the uncertainties, understanding my assumptions, documenting them down, testing them over and over again has been key to finding the successful elements of it. Part of that is getting my own ego out of the way, right? When we come up with an innovative idea, it's very easy for our own belief and desires to see it succeed and our ability to see why it's important to blind us to the fact that others don't see it the same way. And so I encourage you to leverage this, get your ego out of the way, use the data to drive your decisions, right? And bring that discipline. That's how you turn those innovative ideas, those sparks, into engines of value creation. So, I want to challenge you to, over this next 24 hours and throughout the rest of your careers, innovate with purpose. Understand your why. Understand the jobs that need to be done by your customers. Bring that together with a disciplined approach, and I have no doubt in my mind that all of you will find ways to bring value and potentially change the world.
Thank you so much, James. Next, I'm going to introduce Emily from Major League Hacking. Can I give a warm round of applause? Turn this on. Is the red light on? There we go. That's your computer. You're all set?
All right, give me 1 sec to set up here. How's everyone feeling this morning? Good, okay. We'll get some enthusiasm later in the day, I'm sure. With Major League Hacking, my name is Emily. I'm a coach here at Major League Hacking. My pronouns are she, her. A little bit about me, I graduated from Columbia University this past spring, so just right down the river. I now work in San Francisco as a software engineer at SpaceX, so please come talk to me about that. Fun fact is I actually grew up in Clifton Park, which is like 30 minutes away from here. Moved right after college, so feels very weird to say I'm from California, but yeah, very familiar with Albany. It's good to be back. Before I get too much into this, everything that I'm going to cover here you can find at this link here, and I'm also going to be posting these slides on the Discord, which hopefully you are in. If you are not, there's a link to join it. That will have, like I said, all the resources from my end, as well as all the stuff from the HackRPI team. So make sure you're there. A lot of important announcements there, and also just like communicating with the other hackers at the event. So I'm sure the question you're all wondering is, what is Major League Hacking? In a nutshell, we are the global hacker community. So we exist to serve hackers and students like you in a variety of formats, including supporting over 300 member hackathons a year like this one, as well as bringing our own virtual internship programs, online hackathons, a variety of things like that. Numerically, that breaks down to over 1.2 million hackers, which now includes all of you. So I'm sure the other thing that you're curious about is what exactly we're doing here this weekend. So again, I'll point you to the link in the corner here. hack.mlh.io has a ton of general resources on different technologies, different tools that you can use if you're interested in learning something new or something to use in your hack. But specifically, I'm first going to be running a couple workshops. These are going to be 5 to 6 p.m. The first one is going to be called Hacking with GitHub Copilot. It's going to be working with Copilot, which is an AI pair programming tool. If you're interested in that, you can go ahead and sign up ahead of time at this link here, mlh.link/HackRPI GitHub. By the way, I'm also going to be putting all these links on the Discord, so if you miss it now, don't worry, you can also grab it later. I'll also be giving away some stickers and some exclusive swag at that if you're interested in that. And then right after that, we'll be doing another workshop, Intro to Google AI Studio. This is another AI LLM platform where you can do a bunch of cool stuff with like text, speech, visuals, video, etc. So if you're interested in that, again, sign up link is there. Feel free to sign up ahead of time. That will be right after the previous one, so 6:30 to 7. Also in the same room, DCC room 318. I will also be raffling some swag there too. So freebies all around at the workshops. Outside of that, we're also bringing some cool prizes and technologies that you can work with this weekend. So first up is Google Gemini. Google Gemini, which is something that I'll demo in a second, is Google's LLM model. The prize they're giving away this weekend is a Google Gemini swag pack with a whole bunch of swag in it. And the prize is for the best use of the Google Gemini API in your hack. So somehow integrating some of their API AI tooling into your project and exposing that to your users or your judges somehow. Next up, we have 11 Labs. 11 Labs is an agentic LLM voice provider. They are highlighting their agentic API this weekend. If you're creating any sort of agent LLM voice agents, this is a great way to use that. So something where you're not just like using an AI voice thing, but you're also making it an agent that can go out and like do things and perform actions. This is a great technology to look into. And for the best use of 11 Labs this weekend, you're going to be walking home with some super cool custom Beats Solo earbuds. Next up, we have the best use of Solana. Solana is a Web3 decentralized blockchain platform. So if you're doing anything with that or like smart contracts, making your platform secure, this is a great thing to look into. For that, you can win a SenseCap card tracker. We also have a free .tech domain name for everyone. So this one has a prize, but also you are all able to redeem this right now. If you go to this link, mlh.link/tech, and then enter in that code there, you are able to grab a free .tech domain name for a whole year. This is a pretty good deal. Usually they are a little bit pricey, so I would definitely encourage everyone to check this out. I also have info on this on the MLH table if you missed the code here. But out of all the domain names that get registered this weekend using that code, the best domain name is going to win being able to keep it for 10 years, and you're also going to win a pretty cool SoloCast microphone. But wait, there's more. So next up is Reach Capital. Reach Capital is a VC, if anyone here is interested in startups or becoming a founder. They are giving away a prize for the best use of AI. This is very general, but Reach Capital is a kind of mission-driven VC, so they're really looking for things that are in spaces like healthcare, education, things like that. You can win a webcam for this. We also have free credits from OpenRouter. OpenRouter, if you're not familiar, is a one-stop shop interface to connect to any sort of LLM. You can grab $10 in credits from them here and use that to interface with any LLM that you might be interested in using in your hack. It's super easy to set up, and you can check that out here. For this one, you should have gotten an everything you need to know code email from MLH prior to the event, and there should be a code in that. But talk to me if you don't have that and you're interested in using this. We also have DigitalOcean. So DigitalOcean's Gradient AI is a platform for building AI agents. They have the infrastructure to test them, build them, deploy them, things like that. For the best use of their Gradient AI platform, you will win a retro mouse. I think this is the last one, the best use of Vultr. So Vultr is a cloud infrastructure platform. Think your Google Cloud or your AWS on Amazon. This is a really good platform for anyone who's interested in doing any sort of heavy compute. Maybe you're deploying some sort of AI model that you don't want to run locally on your computer, you just want to use something on the cloud. Vultr is a really developer-friendly interface to work with all of that. For the best use of Vultr, you will win a portable monitor. They're also giving away free credits if you use the code Major League Hacking here in the corner, so definitely check that out. Now, I know that was a ton of prizes that I just breezed through. If you need to see any of those again or get any of those details, you can go to the HackRPI dev post. That will have all the information there as well as all the prizes. Now, I hope everyone is able to make something this weekend and demo on Sunday. I strongly encourage everyone to be there, even if you're not happy with what you made, if you didn't fully finish your project. It's a really cool opportunity to just make sure you get something out of your time here, to see what other people built, and to just like get some feedback on what you made. Plus, as a perk, everyone who demos on Sunday will get a custom I demoed sticker. It'll be custom and exclusive to HackRPI, so if you needed another incentive to do that, definitely demo on Sunday. Now, I wish I could also demo. Unfortunately, I cannot, but we're gonna do a quick demo here on stage anyways. So I'm gonna be using generative AI, specifically Google Gemini, to make a AI chatbot. So I'm gonna go ahead and switch over here. So I'm set up here in VS Code. This is a platform where I'm able to write code. I have a API key. I'm not gonna be showing that, obviously, but that's all that I have set up here. You can see like no files or anything. And I have a prompt here. I just wrote out ahead of time for the sake of time, but the gist of this is I'm just asking it to make a very basic chat interface Python app. So I'm going to put that here on this tool called Klein that lets me interface with an LLM model. In this case, I'm interfacing with Google Gemini API. And then it's gonna take a sec, but in a second it will start spitting out commands and like how it wants to work through this. Another thing to call out is I am connecting to Gemini through OpenRouter, which is that LLM interface provider that I mentioned. But that's something that you can configure on your own end. So here it goes. First is starting with kind of coming up with a plan. It usually is a little quicker than this. Maybe the Wi-Fi is making it struggle a little bit, but it's creating the to-dos, and then slowly it will start, hopefully, generating some code. All right, here we go. So first, it's creating some requirements. These are things that it needs to download to be able to run and make this. I guess one thing to call out here is a lot of the like technical stuff that's happening here. If you're kind of confused on what's going on, don't worry. The point of the demo here is to just kind of show what LLM tools like Gemini can do to supercharge your coding, especially in something like a hackathon where you have a limited time period. Maybe you're trying to like work with new things that you've never done before. These are really cool tools, especially now when they're everywhere in the news and everyone's using them. A hackathon is the perfect place to try something like this out, see if you like it, if you don't like it. But yeah, it's going ahead and writing out these files. Obviously, I'm not typing anything. It's just generating what it needs to build this web app based on this prompt that I gave it. And actually, in a second, we're going to be able to see, hopefully, once it finishes, it will run this web app and we can check out what it has made. So for the sake of demoing, I'm not typing anything, but ideally if you're building a hackathon project here, you will want to be like very much in the loop, checking every step that it's doing, making sure that it has your vision in mind and it's running things that you expect and it's not like breaking your computer or anything like that. So a lot of these commands I have set to auto run, but you can see there like some commands that I still have manual approval for anyways. So, all right. Okay, so let me see here. I'm gonna ask it to run this web app. All right, I think it was on plan mode before, so it wasn't actually running anything. So now I'm telling it to run it, and hopefully, you can see here it's in act mode. Hopefully, it will know how to pick up that previous setup and run it. Let's see. So yeah, here we go. It's using some of the files that it wrote before. You can see it's like running some commands to download things, set up a virtual environment so that everything is nice and isolated. And then in a second, we're going to see it deploy this web app, and we will see what it has made. gonna go ahead and go to this link here. All right, fingers crossed, everyone. All right, so we have our Gemini chat app here. So I'm gonna say, tell me about HackRPI. So the cool thing about this demo is not only are we using Google Gemini to help us, okay, well, I spoke too soon. I'm literally just gonna say fix it. Cool thing about this demo is we're not only using Gemini to help us write the code, but Google Gemini is also, like you can tell, being, in theory, exposed to end users here through the chat interface. So for the Google Gemini prize track that we have this weekend, it's specifically for the latter of those, like exposing Gemini somehow to your users, not just using it in your personal development, but still a really cool use case. All right, so you can see it's debugging, troubleshooting what has happened. All right, let's see. It claims to be fixed. Uh-oh. All right, well, I don't want to drag this on. I'll fix this once I get back to the table, and then I will send out a link for all of you to try this out. But the TLDR here is that tools like Gemini are really great for helping you with your hacks. You can see that this very boilerplate web app would have taken probably like upwards of half an hour, even for someone who's very familiar with Flask. But with Gemini, we can do it in a few minutes. And in theory, it actually works. So I'm going to go back to a last few slides here. Like I said, some big takeaways. Like we saw, things don't always work, which is why it's very important to be in the loop so that when it does break, you're not like totally lost on how to fix it. And also you want to make sure that your hackathon project is something that is yours, right? Ultimately, like you're the one coming up with it, and this is only a tool to help you get there. If you're interested in any of this, come talk to me at the MLH table for sure. Now, on a serious note, I do want to call out that MLH hackathons are a safe space for everyone. Everyone here, including sponsors, organizers, and hackers, have agreed to the MLH Code of Conduct by being here. You can find that full Code of Conduct here, but the gist of it is make it a safe and welcoming space for everyone. For some people, this is their first hackathon. For some people, maybe they're not even computer science students, but we want to make sure that everyone is welcome here and everyone has a good time. If anything does happen, please come talk to me. If you're not comfortable doing that or cannot do that for some reason, we also have an email and a phone line here that you can reach out to. But we all want to make sure we're having a good time and getting a good experience out of this. So I want to wrap up by saying another thank you to all the Major League Hacking partners, and yeah, good luck this weekend.
Thank you so much, Emily. Amazing, flawless. All right, so reminder, all announcements are in Discord. If you haven't already, please join now. If you missed this QR code so for some reason, you can go to the organizing table where you checked in. If you haven't checked in, please do that, along with the free t-shirt and stickers. You also get a wristband that allows you to get things like food and boba. So if you like boba, I recommend getting a wristband.
So I just want to take a moment to extend a huge thank you to all of our sponsors today. The shirts we're wearing, the food we're giving out, the tables we were able to rent, all the prizes we're giving out are made possible from our industry sponsors. So please, can we just get a round of applause for all of our sponsors? Just a reminder as well that all of our sponsors, or at least many of our sponsors, will be tabling out in the DCC Great Hall all of today. So please take a little bit of time out of your day to stop by, talk with them. Also, a couple of our sponsors will be holding fireside chats, which is a great opportunity to talk with them about their startups, about their companies, their strategies. Some of them might be hiring. So please take some time, go talk to these sponsors. They're awesome. I've had some great chats with them personally. It's definitely worth that couple minutes.
All right, so you might have seen this around the venue or at the check-in table, but this is the general map of our venue. It's also on the Discord server. If you are looking for something like the organizer check-in tables, water fountains, bathrooms, a room for a workshop, whatever it is, it's on the map. So please, again, reference the Discord, find one on the wall nearby you, or go to the check-in table. There's also water fountains. This is important. There's also water bottle refill stations. We will have some plastic water bottles available at meals, but our supply is limited, so please, if you get one, try to refill it with the water fill stations. Sustainability is important to us.
So, pop quiz time. I'm going to need some audience interaction here, so please don't leave me hanging. What time are we, if this will load, what time are we supposed to make our dev posts by? No, I heard 11. Who said 11? I heard it from somewhere over here. You're in trouble. We are supposed to make our dev posts by, at the latest, 9 a.m. tomorrow. All dev post submissions made past 9 a.m. will not be considered for judging. We need that time to assign people tables. So if anybody makes it past 9 a.m., that is a hard deadline. We cannot consider your project for any prizes. Please do not miss that deadline. You can make the dev post submission the night before if you want to. I would highly recommend that. You can walk outside, create your repository, and make your dev post submission right now. Please do not forget to get your dev post submission in by 9 a.m. You're going to be good at this one over here. What time can we continue editing our projects until? There we go. We can keep editing our projects until 11 a.m. When you submit your dev post, you're only just submitting the repository link. You could still edit that completely and it won't change anything as long as you're not switching to a different repository. But just make sure that 11 a.m. is also a hard deadline. Any changes made after 11 a.m. will disqualify your project from judging. So please do not alter your code after 11 a.m. And just a reminder, we're going to be doing a science fair style presentation that's going to run for 3 hours. Please try to show up to your tables around 10:45 at the latest. We're going to try to get our table numbers posted at about 10:30 so you guys can have a little bit of time to set up. If you have any issues during the setup process, please come find somebody in a pink shirt. Come find us at the organizer desk. We'll be floating around. We can help you as soon as possible.
All right, if we haven't stressed it enough times yet, we will stress it one more time. Please join our Discord. We will have the QR code up one more time. But again, join our Discord for any announcements. Again, if you want to hear about when the build is happening. If you want to know what table you're assigned to for presentations, you're going to need to be on our Discord server. Now, our schedule is also posted around the venue with the maps. It's also on our website, HackRPI.com. But if you want it on your Google Calendar, we've got this handy link right here.
All right, so just some things to expect over the next probably 3 or 4 hours. Right here in DCC 308 after opening ceremony, me and my Director of Technology, Jackson, are going to be running the Intro to Tech Stack workshop. We're going to talk about licensing, how to properly license your project, how to use Git with your teammates, and then we're going to go over a little bit of information on the T3 stack and how you can utilize that. I think we mentioned the MERN stack as well, but how to build your product from the ground up and have a proper tech stack to really empower yourselves throughout this event. We have the quantum computer tours running all day today. There's going to be 3 of them total by our quantum computing club. Highly recommend going and checking it out. It's a short walk just across to the other side of campus. It is very cool to see up close. We also have a phenomenal agile development workshop that's going to be given by our professor at RPI, John Sturman. He's taught software design and documentation here for longer than most of us have been alive. He is a phenomenal lecturer, and I'll always love his workshops. You get to make paper airplanes, have a paper airplane making contest. It's always a lot of fun, so please show up to that one. And then cut off on the slides a little bit here. Around 4 o'clock, we're going to have a HackRPI XII workshop. That is going to be a phenomenal game hacking workshop. We're going to hack a retro game. We're going to hack a modern game and discuss, things about concerns about security, reverse engineering, and a bunch of other things relating to workshops. A reminder: we also have our sponsor fireside chats that are going to be running throughout the day. Please pop in and attend those. And we have a great AI workshop by RPAI, another club on campus, happening later on tonight. So please show up to all of these. You can learn a ton of things. They're fun. You can work right in the lecture halls. It'll be an awesome time.
All right, that's everything from us. Again, our Discord is right here if you need it. And that wraps up our closing ceremony. So, find a table, find somewhere to work, maybe the lecture hall in either 3rd floor, 2nd floor. You guys can go anywhere. And happy hacking!
Don't start till 11.
Hi guys, come to DCC. It's a lot of fun.